Alrighty, Eddie Pitey. And let's go make sure we're peaches and gravy. Okay, we should be good. Take a sip of some water. Some agua. Now we play the waiting game. Welcome, El Chavo. Welcome, Avery. Guys, welcome back to UnOrdinary, brought to you by Uru-chan. What is up, Extended? Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Guys, we're back with UnOrdinary, the greatest and hottest webtoon of all time. It's pretty goated. Anyway, yeah, hope you guys are having a good night tonight. I'm pretty excited for episode 280 to see where we go from here. I have my phone, right? Yeah, I do. I just completely forgot that I had it on me first. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. Today we are reacting to episode 280. So little tidbits of last week. So last week, Kuyo arrived at Wellston Academy. What is up, Miriam? Welcome. So Kuyo arrived at Wellston Academy. He met up with Remi, who, as I predicted, did know him because he was a friend of Ray's. Again, been saying this like a dead horse. Kuyo, I think it's just goes to show Kuyo is a good guy, can be trusted. Him and Ray, they had that rough start, that rough patch, but they still ended up being friends. So, Kuyo then introduced, he went to say hi to Blyke by name and everything. It was just like, I met Blyke a bit ago. Like, we just met by chance, like nothing too big. And then he asked to speak with Blyke in person, or in private. Remi and Ison then followed. So Kuyo asked Blyke if he knew Sarah and John, told him about their situation, how they were almost murdered, they couldn't fight back, and also that he was the one who saved them and everything. So after that, Kuyo kind of told Blyke that he believed it had something to do with the people who have gone missing recently, which it kind of does, kind of doesn't. They're not really connected to the missing persons, but they were targeted by the same people as the missing persons. Welcome, Daniel. Welcome. Dude, Extended. Yo, honestly, hey, glass is just gonna help you see better, man. It's no big deal, trust me. You're gonna look fly with those things, man. So, Blyke, of course, or Kuyo then asked Blyke told Blyke that he wanted him to start coming out with him on patrols and everything, so we can get to the bottom of this. Not connected to Ember, if that's what Kuyo's thinking. But actually, Kuyo's not thinking that because he pointed out that, like, there's no reason for Ember to just go after random high tiers instead of superheroes. What up, Mercer? Welcome. Welcome. So, Blyke basically just told Kuyo, like, yo, like, I told you, like, I can't do this. Like, I'm not gonna do this. Ison and Remi then started talking, and Ison asked if it was possible that Kuyo and Ray ever teamed up while being superheroes, and Remi revealed herself and asked if Kuyo knew about Vulcan, the woman with the amplifiers and the fiery claws. And Kuyo asked how she knew about Vulcan. So, I think we're in for a really, really interesting chapter today. I stand by what I said in my review and discussion. I don't think that Kuyo was there with Ray, but I do think that Kuyo has discovered Vulcan or someone with the same ability, with that same ability, also distributing the amplifiers. I believe that, he might have, because he mentioned that he's tracked them down to the source, and she is kind of a source in and of itself. So, I don't think that Kuyo was there for Ray's death. I think he's encountered Vulcan on his own, but he realized that's how Ray died. But if Ryu's going to throw us that Kuyo was working with Ray during that point, I wouldn't mind that either. That's just my prediction, though. But before the episode releases in 2 minutes, guys, we got stuff. So, here we go. I am really excited about this print because I already know what it is, as I always do. So this is last month's print, and I'm really excited about this one. This one is kind of just going back to how she normally does her prints. The style is just really cool, but there's nothing like different in the style or anything. Just same old art. But John and Sarah as what was the theme for this print actually? I forget. Let me look it up real quick. Yeah, there was really no theme that I could tell. Regardless, this print is fucking amazing. I especially like John's outfit. Sarah's outfit is also really dope, but John's just my boy, and I just love any art piece with him in it. John's actually got kind of like a little Arlo coat going on here, like kind of like the black shirt with Arlo's like sweatshirts and everything too. At least that's what it reminds me of. But Sarah's just looking fly as she always does. Sarah's got mad drip. But man, as always, Uru, thank you a lot for the print. So here we go. Let's see if the episode is out yet. Probably not. It's probably yeah. Not yet. One more minute. Okay. So, yeah. Exactly, Miriam. That's where I'm trying to get right now. All right. Yeah, it's a nice little tame bit of edge though. That's why I like it. It's nothing too wild. It's just a nice little bit of edge. Though let's be real, John's been on that side for a long time. If we're being honest here. All right. I'm just refreshing. Just keep refreshing. Okay, here we go. All right. UnOrdinary episode 280. Let's get this. Remi steps out. Kuyo, were you there when Ray died? I don't know what you're asking. Vulcan, the woman with fiery claws. Were you there when she killed Ray? How do you know about her? UnOrdinary episode 280. I swear to God, extended if Uru did that. Ison, just first shot is Ison just like kind of looking at the situation like, you two also seem to know what she's talking about. And Blyke's behind him. Don't tell me you're all in on this. Don't change the subject. Answer me. Were you there? And Kuyo just ... I was. Okay, he was there. They were working together. Remi just clenches her fist. You were with him and you left his corpse behind? That's kind of suspicious, actually. You left him sitting in the streets for the cops to find a corpse? For the media to publicly shame him? You're his best friend. How could you? He puts his hand on her shoulder. Pinky, listen to me. I had no other option. If I had gone back for it, I would have been killed alongside of him. That's a very fair point. That is a very fair point. I'm going to say right now, this is suspicious. It honestly is, but I think it makes perfect sense, and I still do trust Kuyo. It makes perfect sense that he wouldn't go back, and honestly, I think Ray wouldn't be mad at him either. Like, I don't think that this is too, like, too suspicious or anything for Kuyo. I think this is completely fair and valid. So, you did call it, Zeus. You did call it. They camped his body. All right. Hold up. We're talking about Vulcan, aren't we? Who's they? Ember operatives. Should have seen that one coming, Ice. I mean, yes, extended, yes, but at the same time, you also have to think like, yes, like you should die for your, like, it's very noble to die for your best friend, but that's not always the smart thing to do. That's not always 100% the right thing to do. Like, yeah, like your friend probably would appreciate you dying by their side, but they'd probably also want you to live on if they weren't making it. I think if Kuyo could have gotten his body back, he absolutely should have. But if it was a situation where going to get his body back would have resulted in his death, that's, you know, something not really in his control. Ember operatives. Ison's just, what? There are more of them? What do you mean are there more of them? Of course there's more of them. What kind of question is that? Kuyo, I want you to tell me exactly what happened. They were there to kill us. We're getting a flashback. We're getting more Rei story. Rei and I were partners. We were continuing an investigation on ability amplifiers that suddenly started circulating in the lower districts. Okay? Gang wars were becoming common in these areas. Damn. Rei's fucking jacked. Let's go. Yo, let's go. Let's go. I just noticed Rei's hair's kind of like John's new style. Huh. So, Rei's just like, boom. Because everyone wanted to get their hands on some amps. Oh, that guy's fucked up. He's got kind of like Arlo hair, but like on the darker blonde side. And his back is messed up. Ugh. Kuyo, is he dead? And Rei's just checking out his stun. Checking him out. Looks like it. That's weird. The killer left a vial behind? We knew that Ember had been the one responsible for distributing these vials. And we got another one. Similar outfit. The trench coat, the mask, the hat, the everything. But it's a man. But that was the first time we met one of its associates face to face. Okay. Light purplish hair. Pretty short. And like teal eyes. And Rei just looks at Kuyo. He's hiding his identity. Could he be one of us? Excuse us. Do you know what happened here? Rei asks. Activates his ability. ... Flame claws. And he dashes to them too. And then Kuyo busts out a sword, but he gets cut right in the arm. Oh. Rei avoids it. And he shoots his lightning out at the guy. Yo, this is sweet. Okay, so guy sees it coming and he jumps back. This is also at least one high tier, one presumably god tier, unless Kuyo has achieved god tier recently. So, Rei shoots his lightning at the guy. Kuyo swipes down with the sword, but the guy jumps back. So, here we are. And then Vulcan's watching from the rooftops. ... So, Kuyo slashes at the guy, but he presumably just keeps dodging the attacks and everything. Yep. But Rei jumps above him for some lightning. Gets his hand on him. Drops to the floor. And Kuyo just stands above him. Looks like we found our killer. I have a feeling that the wounded guy on the floor isn't actually dead, and it's part of the sting operation. The attacks match the wounds. All right, let's knock him out. Looks like we can go home early today. And Ray's just keeping the lightning on him. We had no idea that this was all a trap. Vulcan jumps down, slashes Ray right across the shoulder, down his torso, and I think gets his legs too. So then she dashes at Kuyo. What the? And she goes to swipe him, but he tries to block with the sword. Gets him right across the chest. And she just talks to the other guy. Get up. Forgive me. I still haven't gotten used to this ability yet. And Purple Hair turns around to Ray on the floor still. Continuity issue. Continuity issue here. Hold up. I'm sorry, Uru. I'm gonna not let this one slide real quick if you don't mind. Hold up. I just gotta check something real quick. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say, I thought that in the footage from the news broadcast in episode 6, I thought that Ray still had the mask on, but he doesn't. But still continuity issues because the tears on the clothes in this episode do not match the tear on the clothes on the news broadcast. But maybe we'll also see how they leave the brand. I really want to see that because I don't know why. I just got curious about it all of a sudden. No. So. Oh God. Ray gets stabbed from the back, claws peeking out from his back or from his front now. X. Sorry about that. That was awful on my part. Kuyo summons 2 swords then. Get away from him! He starts going at him. But they're on their feet and they slash at him easily, not getting. I just think it'd be cool, Extend. I just think it'd be cool to see like how exactly they make the brand or like leave the brand. Because they do it on purpose. They're doing it for a reason. So he tries slashing at them, but they get him right in the shoulder. He sticks his swords in the ground. And he's right in front of Ray. And Ray, quick. Get out of here while you still can. Like I said, a friend wouldn't want. If it was possible, you should save the body. But a friend doesn't want you to die. Doesn't want you to die trying to save them. I'm not leaving you. So, turns back to face them. But they get him just again. Double team. And Ray's just surging electricity. And Kuyo's just on his knees. And Ray grabs both Vulcan and the other fucker and just electrocutes them. Ray, man. Uru, after this, you have to show us Ray's rise to king. Like, let us see Let us see all the badass fights that this man had. Ray's going out an actual hero. This fight is a little short just because it is an ambush. But we gotta see how Ray got here. What are you? And Kuyo gets up holding his side. And he just looks at Ray just looks at Kuyo like he's got the slightest smile, like you can tell it's there. Just that One Piece Will of D grin. Take care of yourself. All right? And Valerie just, huh? And Ray's just going ham, just like go! And Kuyo just sees it. And Ray just calls down lightning. Like full on lightning. Like let me pull up the move Remi tried to pull on John. All right. Let's see. Let's pull this up real quick. Okay. Yeah, I should. Okay. Let's check episode 154 then, not this one. Okay, here we go. Got it right here. So, boom. So, this move right here that Remi tried to do on John, like tenfold, but Ray's also a target. So, yes, this is what a 5.8 lightning user can do exactly. Ah, man. So, here we go. Once the dust cleared, I came back to see if we're back in the present. Once the dust cleared, I came back to see if I could salvage anything. But those two were still there, hovering over Ray's corpse like a pair of vultures. Even after the massive storm he unleashed, they were still standing as if they hardly took any damage. The regeneration ability of Phoenix, like I said, I called that. Yo, exactly, Zeus, exactly. And they still have their ability activated, so they're suspecting that Kuyo would come back. I had no choice but to leave after that. Blyke and Ison are just kind of like, Blyke's just ... Remi just ... I sustained too many injuries, and I couldn't risk getting caught by them again. I'm sorry, Remi. She's just clenching her fist. Sorry I wasn't strong enough to save him. And Remi just, no. Thank you. Come again? Thanks to you, I got the closure that I needed. I have a proposal for you. You said you needed support, right? I'll help you with the missing people cases, if you agree to help me take down the people who killed my brother. UnOrdinary episode 280. End. Alright. Honestly, that's a good way to end the episode. So, Phoenix extended. Phoenix is a superhero from UnOrdinary. It was on the poster. They were on the Who Will Die Next poster back on Wellston in, let's see, episode... Let's see. So, hold up. So, Phoenix, spelled F-E-E-N-I-K-S, was a superhero. Now, Ember, in the Project Ember files from that the authorities had, they mentioned some of the abilities that they had gotten a hold of and everything. And like I said, I suspect that there was Flame Claws, some kind of speed-based ability, and also regeneration that they were able to get working, essentially, to give to another person. So, there's that. And I put my guess as to who these abilities belong to, and thanks Google Chrome for just completely shutting down. Thanks for that. Kevin, we got a Ray chapter. And we got to learn how Ray died and what that battle was like. And honestly, that shit was fire. So, like I said, Uru, you said you wanted to have more time to be able to tell more side stories. Please absolutely do that when you can. We absolutely need to see Ray's rise to power, how he got to where he was. I need to see that. I need that in my life now. So, if you can, please do. Please make it happen, because I'm here for that. I am absolutely here for all of this. So, yeah. That shit was mad. Yeah, it's a mad fire. This is going to be very interesting to dissect. But yeah. Man, major good shit. Major good shit. No, she did not. We do not have an official level for any of the for Vulcan or the other guy. So we can only speculate. So let's see. Yeah, okay. So successful conversion so far from the abilities from episode 256 were regeneration, speed, and flame claw. And I believe that they were working. I believe that they belonged to flame claw. Flame claw, I still say, belongs to Cassandra. I'm still sticking with that. I have nothing to back it up, but I am calling that regeneration belonged to Phoenix, and I think that speed belonged to probably Hurricane is the other one that I would go to. And also there was Lightning, which of course belongs to X-Ray. And also there was one labeled Phantom Walk, which I believe is connected to Spectre, the vigilante, not the organization. But yeah. No, she didn't. She didn't, Nylon. We don't have levels for the ambushers. Bro, considering how easily Rain toyed with Blyke, who was stronger than Ison during their first fight, or who toyed with Blyke during their first fight, and like Ison may have gotten a few wins on Blyke, but he's still weaker. He was still weaker back then. Ison's getting his fucking shit handled. Ison also hasn't leveled up at all in the story. And we can assume that Rain has also surpassed high tier at this point. Or has also gone to high tier at this point. I purchased FastPass coins like years ago. And I've never had to purchase since. So yeah, I just purchased a bunch of tokens. And UnOrdinary is also like the only FastPass series that I read. But yeah, so that's how I just buy, and I only read one. I only use them for one series. Yeah. Also, the coins aren't that expensive. It is very cheap, honestly. But yeah. That's probably also a very likely scenario, Mercer. I wouldn't doubt that either, especially considering the technology that they have their hands on at this point, especially with Jane. I think it's very possible that the abilities that they do get a hold of are also amped as well. Because they also are, distributing the amplifying drug as well. Or maybe they're not amped, since they're still working out the kinks and the addictive qualities of the amplifiers too. So who knows, actually. But yeah. No, I think if anything, Rain's probably, if she's close to anyone, I would say she's probably closer to Remi in level, but I wouldn't be surprised if her and Blyke are even at this point, and she's just a flat level 5 high tier. But I would say, given the time that's passed, she's probably become, closer to Remi's level. Ooh, that's a good question, Kevin. That is a great question. So yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point, Will. This fight did seem kind of weird. It seems kind of weird because thank you for pointing that out. Actually, Remi should have been fucking killed easily. Should have been dead. So I am thinking if Valerie, she definitely wasn't taking the fight seriously until further into it. But I wonder if she was just toying with her and keeping her alive out of pity, because she probably saw that she was very young. But considering how much she had to deal with Ray and Kuyo, and it was a 2-on-1 fight, I don't know. It just kind of seems like her fight, she was a lot weaker in her fight against Remi. No, Kuyo's ability level has not been revealed yet. So, yeah, I don't know. It just seemed kind of strange, honestly. But it's fine. It's fine. It was still really cool. But yeah, one okay. One thing I do want to bring up. One thing I do want to bring up because I mentioned this way back when too. Just kind of like what I've said before when it comes to a lot of the unfortunate aspects of Remi's character is that Uru is tending to repeat a lot of Remi's mistakes, and at that point it's just kind of really difficult to like want to side with her or do anything with her. So at this point I'm kind of worried that she's going to get fixated on the revenge of Ember again. So and I understand what I do understand wanting revenge. I do understand that. But the issue is that she saw where that desire for that revenge got her friends and her almost killed. So, and like I mentioned again, Remi really needs to reflect on what happened last time she got involved with this. Last time she got a woman killed. A woman that to this day she has not acknowledged her part in getting her killed. Remi has not taken responsibility for Alana's death. So if Remi gets another person killed for like her like quest for revenge against Ember, like she's done. She's done. Nothing would be able to save her character for me. Like, she needs to reflect on that. She needs to reflect that she got a woman killed. Like, yeah. John is definitely a lot more likable just because we saw everything unfold with John. John was a major focus for the story. But I feel that we got more than enough to be able to see Remi. Like, Remi's sad backstory happened in the present. Her brother's death is really affecting her right now. And that's completely understandable. It's completely understandable. And we're seeing it affect her right now to this day still. Everything she does, she wants to do because she wants to live up to Ray. It's like she said when she was setting up the safe house. She told Ray she had his back. And she does. That was very noble. That was very sweet. But no, that's the thing. Remi did get proper development. She did. Remi acknowledged, as annoying as Remi had been in the previous seasons, or in the previous season, in season 1, she got a lot of great development this time around. When it came to John, being John, she was still like, hey, like, you're king now. I respect that. I kind of don't have a say in anything, but fine, whatever you say, we'll go. And she still stood up to John. She got her ass kicked for it, as well as Blyke did, but she stood up to John. She told John, like, I'm trying to fix things now. You're holding us back, but we are trying to fix things because you opened our eyes. But yeah, like, but honestly, if Remi just gets into this again for revenge, which this kind of does set it up that it is another revenge arc for her again, in my opinion, and she doesn't reflect on Alana's death, and she gets another person killed, Remi's done. Worst character in the series. Uru, I really hope that you don't do that again. Remi has never reflected on it. Blyke reflected on it. Other people reflected on it. She didn't bat an eye. She was clearly upset in the moment, and I get that she was driven by anger because she had come face to face with the person who was responsible for her brother's death. She realized that, but still, she got a woman killed, has never reflected on that at all in the story. And that's not okay. Say what you will about John. whether you love John or whether you love John as much as I do, or whether you despise John, John has never taken a life, nor has he ever gotten a person killed. So, yeah. Going back to your question, Kevin. That's a really great question. Vulcan. Other like fire-based names. We might see an Arcane. Fuego. That'd be funny. That'd be a funny name. Let's see. Fuck it. Let's look it up. Fire-based names. Aiden, Ember, Cyrus, Reese, Apollo. That right there. Blaze. Okay. Tana. Okay. Let's see. Apollo. We're definitely going to see. Uru, you got to use Apollo. Come on, Uru. You got to. Blaze. That I feel like that's an obvious one, but it's also just an awesome name. Brando. I like that. Cyrus, Drake. We'll probably see a Cyrus. Let's see. Kai. Loki. Okay. Weird flex, but okay. Yo. Vesta. Are we gonna get another Code Atom collab? And just get a character named Vesta too, or like codenamed Vesta? That would be awesome. Well, that's the thing. Miriam. Like, even I can admit that John has gone too far at times, but John's learning. But John's reflected on those mistakes. He still to this day reflects on the mistakes he made of his past, and he's striving very hard to stop that and become a better person. Remi is becoming a better person, but not because she reflected on the worst things she's done in her life. She reflected on her mistakes and being very passive about everything going on at school and things needing to change at school. That's great. She's never reflected on getting Alana killed, which that's the main thing that holds me back for her, because that is the worst thing a person's done in the series, in my opinion. In my opinion, I will admit that, in my opinion. But yeah. Lazarus. Hell yeah. I mean, yeah, that is kind of like the mentality of it. And like, that's something that does really bother me about the world of UnOrdinary, that I think a lot of people also overlook when reading. Cause like I've talked about this with the Jokers too on some of our streams together in our collabs. Like going back to his fight with Melee and Ventus, like when we first saw John fight back using his full strength. Ventus and Melee had no problem breaking his arms again at school or like pinning him to the ground and everything. But the moment that he fought back, and the moment that he started like fighting back and defending himself and like basically telling them like, you guys fucked up, Melee just immediately just went to, oh my god, John's crazy, like be careful. And it's like, what the hell's the matter with you two? Like, you're calling him crazy? Like all the shit that you guys just did, but now that you realize he can fight back, now you want to say that he's going to take it too far? Like, I don't know. I mean, in our world, what happened to John doesn't make it right. But in the context of the world of UnOrdinary, nothing's been wrong about society until John started doing it. And that's something that does bother me a lot. And yeah, like I said, John is owning up to his mistakes of the past now, and he's starting to reflect on that, and he's trying to be better about it. He still messes up sometimes. It's very easy for him to lose control because he's used to losing control. And he's acknowledging that, he's relapsed. He relapsed at Rowden Hill. He relapsed at Rowden Park, and he also relapsed a bit at Rowden Hill. He let his anger get the best of him, which led to him losing his ability. But, like I said, John's reflecting on that. And now that he's without his ability, he wants it back. And I love that. I love John. John's great. So, yeah. Question of the day. No, Nylon. Seraphina definitely won that fight. Yeah. Yeah, like I've talked about before, there's a video I really want to discuss about Arlo, but Arlo was a hell of a lot worse than John, and he was a lot worse than Zeke. The things that Arlo did were so much worse than anything that John had done in the past. But unfortunately, at the cost of properly developing him, Uru just kind of brushed that all aside, and it was kind of looked past by everyone a lot faster than it should have been. No one actually talked to Arlo about it. Arlo didn't really have to reflect on much. And I've talked about this before. But, guys, little tidbit for the video that I want to make discussing Arlo eventually. Look at everything that Arlo did to John. He targeted John for an entire month. He pulled strings behind John's back so that he could get John alone for an entire month. Planned every attack on John at Wellston. Kept pulling strings more and more behind John's back. All so he could face John at the turf war location. Arlo plotted every single step. And yet when he did that to John, that wasn't the first time in the story we saw Arlo do that to someone. The first time we saw Arlo do that to someone was the very first time we met Arlo outside of the prologue. Arlo pulled string after string after string to drag his first target that we saw on screen to the turf war location. That target was Rain. Arlo heard that Agwin had a new queen. Arlo heard that they won every match they had faced with that queen. Arlo challenged Agwin. He challenged them because he knew that they would never challenge Wellston themselves because they knew that they would lose. They knew that they were not strong enough. Arlo got Blyke, got Elaine, lied to Seraphina, and said that they were the ones being challenged. He let Blyke get demolished by Rain so that he could scope out her abilities. And then he challenged her when it was Seraphina's turn. And when Rain wasn't strong enough for his standards, Arlo started to choke her and put a barrier in her throat. Like I said, Arlo was a lot worse than the worst characters we've seen in UnOrdinary. And unfortunately, everything about Arlo of the past was kind of just swept under the rug, kind of forgotten about. as far as I'm aware, Uru does regret writing Arlo that way, but she didn't really develop him past that point. Like I said, it was just kind of brushed under the rug. Arlo kind of just changed overnight because John's the new problem of the story now. Exactly, Miriam. So, yeah. Arlo did it in a week. John wasn't the first person he did it to. And honestly, this one is a bit of a stretch. This one's a bit of a stretch. But if we want to go even further past, we can say that Rain wasn't even Arlo's first target in the history of UnOrdinary. Because you have to remember, Arlo also dragged all the high tiers at Wellston when he first became king and they weren't listening to him. He also dragged them to the Turf War location and, in his own words, beat them into submission. It's a history with Arlo. A history that unfortunately got swept under the rug, and we just have this new Arlo. And honestly, new Arlo has done a heck of a lot for the story. And he is becoming a better character. Like I said in my previous discussions, I do like that when it came to his interview, Arlo didn't expect everything to be handed to him. He expected a fair interview like everyone else. He thought he was going to have to work for it more than he already has for his life. But it came at the cost of properly developing and fleshing him out. It came at the cost of having him reflect on his things. It came at the cost of other people in the story having that discussion and telling him how much everything wasn't okay. It came at the cost of making him one of the best characters in the series. Because if Uru had changed Arlo the way she changed Blyke over the course of the story and developed Blyke, Arlo would have been a heck of a lot better. He would have been a lot more likable character. He probably would have been a god tier character, but he wasn't properly developed. It just got pushed aside, unfortunately. And he's just a pretty good character now. And also, to anyone who ships him with Elaine, that's really fucked up, actually, because Elaine actually deserves some, like, as much as I hate her, Elaine actually deserves a person who actually respects her and actually cares about her. Like, yeah, Arlo doesn't want to see John slap Elaine around. That's just, like, a normal thing to not want to see. But I see people, like, on Twitter and everything just like, oh my gosh, Arlo and Elaine are so cute together. They're such great friends. Like, no, they're fucking not. Arlo treats Elaine like dog shit. Arlo does not give her the time of day. Arlo ignores her texts again and again until he needs something from her. And that's not going to come for a long time anymore. Because him and Seraphina are on speaking terms now. Him and John are on speaking terms now. They're working for each other. And they're working with each other now. Like, Arlo doesn't fucking need Elaine anymore. Arlo's not Elaine's friend. Holden is Arlo's friend. Elaine is nobody's friend. She's probably Remi's friend. Remi went shopping with her. But Seraphina doesn't hang out with Elaine. Arlo doesn't give a shit about Elaine. No one cares about Elaine. And like I said, as much as I don't like her, she does deserve to be with someone who does care about her and, like, does, like, you know, put effort into talking to her and everything. Treats her like a human being. Arlo treats her as an annoying little plant that he has to, like, water every now and then. That's it. But yeah. Yo, at this point, we're probably never going to see Holden again. Uru's probably mad holding out on us at this point. But yeah. That shall be it. That shall be it for this stream. Thank you all so much for watching. I am going to have a field day with this episode. Yeah, that's why she's trash. That's why she's actual trash. That's why in Uru's server she used to have an Elaine trash emote. But yeah. Question of the day. Let's go with Kevin's question, just because it was a really good question. What fire names do you think other Ember agents will have? I definitely think we're going to see an Apollo. Uru, please use Apollo. And yeah, John's the best character in the story. Like, John's just awesome on top of being strong. So Nylon, I don't know if she's watched recently, but I do know that Uru has watched my streams before, just because I did go off once in regards to Arlo. I did go off once. Uru did message me the following morning, just like, hey, I saw your review. Let's talk for a bit. And I was like, I poked Mama Bear pretty hard and she got pretty pissed. But yeah, Uru does watch my reactions from time to time. I don't think that she sees every single one, but she does pop in every now and then, because yeah. Uru, if you're still watching right now, and if you have been watching this reaction, I do still love UnOrdinary. I just wanted to talk about a few things. But yeah, this was a really awesome episode, Uru. It was really cool to see Ray fight in this confrontation. And like I said, it is the fact that he did kind of just leave the body is suspicious. But in the context of this episode and in the context of the situation, and we also saw from Kuyo's perspective, Ray telling him to get out of there. It makes sense. I'm still willing to trust Kuyo until, like, Cassandra pulls up with him and we see some mad, wild shit happen where he's like, ha ha ha, I've been working for the authorities all this time. I killed Ray. I am gonna be very, I'd probably be really disappointed by that twist, because like it hasn't really been set up. Okay, so like basically all that had happened, if memory serves, it was the episode I believe it was the episode at his apartment, and if not that episode, it was an Arlo focused episode where he finally had the realization after everyone fucking telling Arlo, Arlo, you need to stop messing with John because you're pushing him too far and you're not going to be able to control him. After months of that, Arlo had the realization of like, oh my God, I'm the problem. It's all my fault. I'm the reason John's doing this. And I went off and I called it really bad writing. I called it bad writing on the scale of Ruby. And Uru just kind of messaged me just like, hey, like, I saw, your reaction, and, like, I saw what you said. Like, I don't want to tell you how to feel, but like, I do just want to give you my perspective on everything. Like, it's not bad writing. Like, and I was like, and I just told her like, hey, that's understandable. Like, thank you for the perspective and everything. Like, thank you for reaching out to me. That's it, guys. Like, that's really it. But yeah, that's the only time. That's the only time where Uru reached out to me herself and was just like, yo, heard you were talking shit. But yeah, that's it. That's the story. I've told it before. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this reaction, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. Question of the day: what are some fire names that you guys think we're gonna be seeing at for some Ember agents? Uru, if you use the name Apollo, You gotta send me my check, Uru. Send me my check. I gave you that name. I need my fair share. You gotta send me my check, Uru. Anyway. That's so fucking stupid. Anyway, that'll be it for today. You guys, thank you all so much for watching. As always, everybody. See you, Space Cowboy.